Hello, welcome to video number 51. This is Mr. Miller, and this video is about multiplying binomials. We reached the top of the mountain here. Once we get this part of square roots, it's all easy after this, I think. It's downhill. So let's get started. First, there are two kinds of problems we have to review. We've done this in class, but I want to go over it again because it's very important to what we're going to be doing today. All right, so in this first problem here, we have four numbers being multiplied together. Two of them are integers, 3 and 4, and two of them are square roots. Well, we can multiply the integers. Since it's all multiplication, we can do it whatever order we want. So 3 times 4 is 12. Then we multiply the square roots. Square root of 2 times square root of 6 is square root of 12. Okay, now, as always, if we can simplify, we can. So square root of 12 we can break up. This is 12 times square root of 4 times square root of 3. Now, square root of 4 is just 2. And 2 times 12 is 24. So we get 24 times square root of 3. That's simplified. Okay, let's do this one. If we multiply the integers, 2 times 6 is 12. And 5 times 15 is 75. So it's 12 times the square root of 75. 75 can be simplified though. So this is 12 times the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. Okay, usually I don't write this step, I just think 25, square root of 25 is just 5, and 5 times 12 is 60. And then it's still times square root of 3. Okay, it doesn't matter if some of the numbers in front are negatives. Negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. Square root of 8 times square root of 5 is square root of 40. Alright, that can be broken up. That's square root of 4 times square root of 10. That's just 2, and 2 times negative 30 is negative 60 times square root of 10. Alright, this one, we should know what it is without doing anything. Square root of 8 times square root of 8 is just 8, because that's what square root of 8 is. It's the number you multiply times itself to get 8. Alright, so, but if you didn't see that, you could do square root of 64, which is just 8. Okay, we have one other skill to review. This goes back to your Algebra 1 days. So, multiplying binomials. So, in Algebra 1, you probably learned the box method. So, there are other methods, and they're fine if you know how to do those. But this is one we kind of start with, and it's old and reliable. Alright, so x plus 6, we're going to put an x here and a 6 here. X plus 6 is the width of the rectangle I drew. And x plus 2, I'm going to make that the length here. And what we have is just an expression for the area. X plus 6 times x plus 2 is the area of this. Okay, we're going to find it a different way. So here's how we multiply. We do x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. 6 times x is 6x. And 6 times 2 is 12. And we add up all the pieces. So x squared plus. These two are like terms, so I can kind of put them together. That's 8x plus 12. Okay, let's do this one. This one has a negative, but that's no problem. I'm going to draw a 2 by 2 box because this has two terms and this has two terms, and we're multiplying them together. Okay, x times x is x squared. X times 7 is 7x. We get a negative 4x here. And negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. Alright, so again, these two terms we can put together because they're both x terms. So we have x squared. Negative 4x plus 7x is plus 3x. And then we have minus 28. Okay, here we go. So this is the main point of the video. Multiplying expressions like these with square roots. Okay, so we're going to use the box method like we were just doing when we had variables. So we're going to draw a 2 by 2 box. I'm going to label this side as 5 and square root of 7. And this is 3 square root of 7. And we have to multiply to find what goes in each of the boxes, and then we add them up, just like we did before. 5 times 3 is 15. Here I have 5 times square root of 7. I just have to write it like that. This is square root of 7 times 3. We'll always put the whole number in front. Here, I have to be careful. This is square root of 7 times square root of 7. Sometimes I write out this last box on the side to figure it out. So square root of 7 times square root of 7 is square root of 49, which is just 7. Remember, when we multiply the square root of a number by itself, we get just the number, 7. Okay, now we add it up. And I see there are two kinds of like terms. There are terms with square root of 7s, and then there are whole numbers. So let's add the whole numbers first. So this is going to equal 15 plus 7 is 22, plus 3 square root of 7 plus 5 square root of 7 is 8 times square root of 7. Alright, that's the final answer. Wow, so this takes a little practice. Let's do this one. Okay, draw a 2 by 2 box and label it 6 minus square root of 2 and 4 plus square root of 2. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times square root of 2 is exactly that. I have minus square root of 2, that's like minus 1 square root of 2 times 4 is minus 4 square root of 2. Uh-oh, I have minus square root of 2 times square root of 2. Okay, well, that's going to be minus square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4, which is just 2. So minus 2 goes here. Sometimes we get a square root expression there. All right. For this particular problem, again, there are a couple things we can combine when we add them up. 24 minus 2 is 22. And then when we combine these two, minus 4 square root of 2 plus 6 square root of 2, we get 2 square root of 2. Okay, so circle it. That's what 6 minus square root of 2 times 4 plus square root of 2 is. All right, wow, that's a lot. So here we have one more example, and then we'll be practicing this. Okay, so draw a 2 by 2 box. This one's going to be slightly more tougher. We have 4 and 2 square root of 3, 5 and minus 5 square root of 3. Okay, let's multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times negative 5 times square root of 3. Alright, 4 times negative 5 is negative 20, so that's negative 20 times square root of 3. We have 2 square root of 3 times 5, so 2 times 5 is 10 square root of 3. Alright, this one's the trouble one. It's troublesome. So we have 2 square root of 3 times minus 5 square root of 3. Okay, multiply the numbers, that's negative 10. Multiply the square roots, that's square root of 9. And we can simplify that. That's just 3. So negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. So all that mess right here is just negative 30. Okay, now it's just time to combine like terms. 20 plus negative 30 is negative 10. 10 square root of 3 plus a negative 20 square root of 3 is negative 10 square root of 3. So once we got this is impressive. Like I said, it should be a lot easier after this. After this, pretty much we just got to talk about cube roots and we'll be done. Alright, got a couple for you. So take a look at the journal assignment. These first 4 are like the review problems we did on the very first slide. So those should be kind of familiar. For E and F, you got to do the box method. Set up a 2 by 2 boxes and multiply those. Alright, good luck.